Hi, hey, hello there. Welcome back to my speed build slash podcast where I build a house and you guys listen to what I have to say, or you mute me and you play your own music over this, which is valid too. I hope you all are having a good start to your new year. Sorry there was no speed build last week. I have poor time management skills and a 2-year-old, and those things, they just do not combine very well. So I thought I had time to record a voiceover for this. I did not. Plot twist. Surprise ending. I did not have time to record a voiceover for this. But I'm doing it now for you guys because I want consistency. Consistency is key, and life is about to get crazy because I start school again in 2 days. I got all my coursework loaded up. I can see what is in store for me for the next 8 weeks for these classes, and I gotta say, if you're praying, people pray for me. I'm in my last year of school, so it is going to be bananas. Well, I hope I'm in my last year of school because I was told about a week and a half ago that, oops, I might have to take different math courses than what they had originally planned for me to take. But I think we got that sorted out. We're back on track, thank God, because there's one thing that I can't do. There's many things I can't do, but one of the most things that I can't do is math. I am not good at math. And they're like, well, we could see if you test out. And I was like, homie, if you take me and have me do a math test, you're going to find out that I need to test into like lower remedial math, like 5th grade. Okay. I'm not that bad. I mean, I can add, subtract, multiply, all that other stuff with a calculator. I can multiply and divide, and basic things. I'm selling myself short here, which is something I need to stop doing. I need to stop being my own bully. But the truth is, I'm not good at math, and I've never been good at math. I understand it in the concept. Like I can get y equals 3 in this equation, but ask me to solve the equation and I get lost in the sauce. Okay, that's where my brain, it checks out. I don't know. There's people who are math whizzes with their neurospiciness, and I'm not one of them. I did not get the math whiz gene. My boyfriend did. He is so good at math. It's insane how good he is at math. Thank goodness, because if we have a child, then he's gonna have to help them with math because they're screwed. I can help with English. I do very well with English and writing. I love to write. That's something you guys don't know about me yet. I write things. Speaking of spicy books, I read one recently. It's called Hooked, by Emily McIntyre, I think. McIntyre. It is a retelling of a fairy tale from Hook, obviously, and Peter Pan, Wendy, and all that stuff. Really good. I can't say that it was one that I couldn't put down and that I like devoured quickly because it wasn't. I actually started reading it last year, and for some reason, every time I would open it and start reading it, I would fall asleep. Which sounds like this sounds like a horrible recommendation, I know, but like stay with me here, okay? It is actually very good. I think that my brain was just tired of reading because I had read so much last year. Um, and it was towards the end of the year, and my brain was like, you know what? Why even read this right now? Because you have to start all over again, anyways, in like 6 weeks. There's no point. So I did take about a 6 week break. No, not a month break. I took a month break from Thanksgiving until the first of the year. So maybe 6 weeks. I don't know. My math people do the math on that. Anyways, I started picking it up again yesterday to read it, and I finished it in a day. Um, it was a solid story. So far this year, I have read 5 books. Well, read one, listened to 4. But I count audiobooks as reading books. And if you don't, then how does it feel to be up on your high horse all the time, huh? How's the view up there? Is it good? Do you feel proud of yourself that you don't do audiobooks? Well, good. I mean, you should. You should be proud of yourself however you read, but like don't gatekeep reading, okay, guys? Just don't have that energy in 2026, all right? Because there's some people who literally cannot physically read the book. You're going to keep them away from the fun of reading simply because they can't physically read the book. They have to have an audiobook. You're going to tell them that it doesn't count all the hours that they spent listening to books. Doesn't count. No. Not here. Not in this vibe. We're not doing that shit. So, however you enjoy your audiobook, whether that is through actually physically reading the book or digitally or on your Kindle. I don't care how you do it. As long as you're reading, that's what I care about. I want more people to read. I remember growing up, it was the nerdy thing to do. People who read were nerdy, and you weren't cool if you read books. But like now, Now it's cool, and I'm here for this evolution in human beings. Reading. You know, there was a time where people fought for the right to freaking read, and now it's not cool. No, reading is like the coolest thing ever. It's new worlds in the palm of your hand. You know, you're exploring so much. I don't know. Let me get off my soapbox about reading. I will never be off my soapbox about reading. What am I talking about? Um, I listened to a conspiracy book about JFK. It's called the JFK Conspiracy. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, that probably read like stereo instructions. It did not. They did a really great job with the writing of that book, and they did a great job with who they had narrating it. It was really, really good. Now, I will say that I went into it thinking there was going to be a bunch of conspiracies about JFK, and it wasn't. That was my misunderstanding. And it wasn't until I was looking at the review that I was doing for my bookstagram that I have, which is PlotRx at Instagram, by the way. Anyways, it wasn't until I was doing the book review for that I was like, no, wait a damn minute. This is the conspiracy to kill JFK and why it didn't work. And I was like, but it did work. And then I realized in the book they were talking about a whole other thing that was happening that like was supposed to be what took the president out, but that never happened. And I'm like, now wait a dang minute. What was the beef with JFK? Like, why were people like not liking him? I mean, like, I get it. There's presidents we don't like. Hold silent space because I'm looking at the camera, and I think you guys are probably also looking back at me like, yes, there's presidents that we don't like. Not that I would ever be like, hey, you know what's a good thing to do? That no, it's not. Nah, I'm not doing that stuff. But I was just like, he seemed like a really nice guy. Well, then listening to this book, I'm like, yeah, he did do a lot of nice things, but also that man be cheating on his wife all the time. Now, I'm a girl's girl. Not a girl's girl, and that I'd be like, take him out of this world. But like, girl's girl isn't like, man, that sucks. Poor Jackie. She seemed to put up with a lot of shit. She was a good woman, it seemed like, from that book. She was strong, too. Like, went into labor the second time when her husband was in a plane, like, away from her, and she, like, handled that shit. She was, like, casually called her doctor in the ambulance and was like, yo, I'm in labor. Secret Service didn't even know she was in labor until, like, the squad pulled up. Like, have we got a call from the soon-to-be first lady? And they're like, what? He's like, I'm not gonna go bother these guys. I'm just gonna handle my business myself. Call my doctor, be like, hey, I think I'm in labor. 6 weeks early. I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'm gonna do this shit like a woman does. That's one thing about women. We get shit done. I love my ladies. Anyways, they have other books though. If you're into conspiracy stuff about presidents, they got other books. There's the Abraham Lincoln one, and there's a George Washington one. I didn't even know there was a plot to kill Washington, although it makes sense. It does make sense because he was the first, and a lot of people didn't agree with it. And they also, you know, he challenged things, and he probably also wasn't maybe the nicest person. I don't know. Most of what I know about Washington is from the play Hamilton, and Christopher Jackson has a special place in my heart because of that play. So yeah, I don't know. If you have not watched Hamilton though, oh my gosh, you know what? Let's spend the next 3 minutes talking about Hamilton. So go. Here's the thing: if you're friends with me, and if you're listening to this and you've listened this far, and I have to think that you like at least some of the things that I say at this point, everybody that I know ends up watching Hamilton at some point. So if you haven't watched it and you're like, I'm not going to watch it, yeah, you are at some point. You will. My influence will get you there. Even if you've never been a play person in your life, you're going to watch it. And then after you watch that, you're going to go watch In the Heights. And then after you watch that, you'll watch Tick, Tick, Boom. And you're going to watch all the musical things because I will influence you too. But Hamilton was so good. I mean, yes, I watched it during COVID, and I had just found out that the guy that I was seeing had been cheating on me. So I might have a little bit of a trauma bond to a show, if you will, because it brought me comfort. But I love that play. It was like my most listened songs were like all 45 of the ones from the track from 2020 were on my recap list. But Christopher Jackson as George Washington does a phenomenal job. And his song, One Last Time, oh, I get chills still just thinking about it. Full body chills. So good. It's on Disney Plus. So I mean, like, if you're gonna give your money to the company for a little bit, just watch watch Hamilton. I am a slave to Disney Plus because they've got Hulu and ESPN, and I have a 2.5-year-old, and I'm not gonna try and explain to an angry 2.5-year-old that there's no Minnie Mouse right now. Obviously, I have boundaries with her, but there's some, you just gotta pick and choose your battles sometimes, okay? And people always want to be like, you have to stand your ground. She's 2. Well, yeah, I do, but she's also 2. You can't reason with a 2-year-old. You try and explain something to them, and they are done. The moment you go into, because she is checked out, she's on to the next thing. You just try and do little nuggets of wisdom with a kid, okay? You can't be plopping down a bunch of knowledge on toddlers. They do not retain that information at all. All she knows is she wants Minnie Mouse, and mommy's telling her no. Not, hey, mommy, stop paying Disney, because Disney is actually not the nicest corporation, and they have enough money, and they're overcharging for everything, and I don't really like that vibe. She doesn't care. Give her Minnie Mouse. Right now, her big thing has been Gabby Dollhouse. I watch Gabby Dollhouse more than any adult woman should, probably. But Cat Rat is my favorite. Cat Rat. I love Cat Rat. Let's see. Ranking the shows that my daughter watches in order. First, Gabby Dollhouse. I like that one. Daniel Tiger, number 2. He's solid. Only problem with Daniel Tiger, and I never thought I would say this, given that I just talked to you about musicals, is that they sing like every episode. And while they are catchy songs, they are also equally annoying songs, and they get stuck in my head, and that bothers me. Number 3 is probably Little Bear, because she likes Little Bear before she goes to bed. It's very calming. I do like that. Number 4, as she watches, I would say would be Super Kitties, and that's just because the lady who does the intro song, like, she makes that some powerful intro song. That's a good intro song. Then bottom of my list, the show that I can't stand that she watches, but I still let her watch sometimes, is Baby Shark. And I hate the Baby Shark show because it's not like the really good quality one. It's one on YouTube where they're doing like the animal play doctor stuff. And honest to God, the things don't rhyme, and it bothers me. I was tripped and I hit my head. You would think that it would rhyme. Like, yeah, I fell into my bed, but he's like, I fell into a rock. And that shit bothers me. Anyways, here's this family home. It's on the gallery. And if you like this and you want to come back for another episode, you should consider following me on YouTube, Danibananiboo. I also am on TikTok, Danibananiboo, and Facebook and Instagram. And you guessed it, that is also Danibananiboo. Have a good weekend.
Oh, we're signing off. We're saying bye, but we'll be back. No need